How'd you do in there?
Yeah, what was it like?
Did you book?
I found a book about dreams and powers, and it was written by a professor who doesn't work here. I need to find out. But they did a study, and my mom, my mother was part of it.
What?
I don't know. It got to the, oh God, there was so much. I'm so sorry, it's so late, you guys. It got to the part that was just really getting interesting. I have no idea why she was part of it. And then the pages were ripped out, and apparently the pages were ripped out by the Loomis twins.
The twins?
The twins. How are they wrapped up in all this? How am I wrapped up in what they're wrapped up in?
You're sure?
But that's what the scribe says. I don't think he was supposed to tell me that, but he did.
Huh.
The plot thickens.
Wait, the Loomis twins were...
The ones who died.
Yes, but they were interested in dreams?
They were interested in...
The stars, planetary bodies, celestial bodies.
And that's what the book was also about.
Oh, okay.
The moons given power and...
And that's what you were looking into?
Yeah, I wanted to find out why I started getting the powers that I did. Why they timed up the way they did.
When you say your mother was a part of the study, was she a researcher or an actual person in the
I
study?
think she was someone in the study. I don't know.
Could you ask her?
I don't... She's gone, Fern. I don't know her.
Like dead, or?
I don't know her. I don't know.
Did you ever know her?
Did your father ever
Talk
about
her?
this?
Never.
Or what
Anytime
happened
I
to
try
her?
to bring her up, it was like he just turned off. Part of me thinks that's one of the reasons he stopped, coming around me. Once everything started changing, it's almost like he knew that he'd give something away.
Like
I just thought he was
like
uncomfortable. I didn't know. I don't know.
But he was keeping her a secret or something?
I mean, I know she existed. I know who she was. I don't know anything about her.
Did your dad ever say anything about your mom having the same sort of gifts? Nothing like that.
Do you happen to know if she's still alive, or you don't know?
I thought she was... I hear her in my dreams. I think it's her.
And do you think that she was here, or that the book just made its way here?
I think the book made its way here. They don't... This professor, this person that wrote the book, they're not here. So,
I wonder if
maybe
we could track them down. Do you happen to know how long ago this book was made? I mean, if it was revolving around your mother.
That's true. It could have been years before I didn't ask. I'm an idiot. I didn't ask.
And the book was studying. The book was studying your mother as a subject, or she was one of the.
She was one of many subjects.
Okay.
Most universities, books that are written, research papers, they're part of a study. They communicate. If you're allowed in the library, are you allowed in the rest of the university?
I don't know.
Paperwork that you were given offers you access to the premises to the level that a student would.
Oh. Oh, shit. Maybe the university knows where this professor is.
You said the book was damaged, though. The Loomis twins.
Potentially had ripped the pages out, so maybe the pages are at their house, or...
Well, I mean, that's a lead, in my opinion.
Yeah, and refresh my memory, the Loomis twins, Ballanzar, they were killed?
Yes.
The anger was...
By a similar attack.
Right.
That Orem experienced.
They were like in their 20s, right?
Yeah, 22, I think.
Imogen, you do recall that in the paper, it did note that Professor Kadir Samal was based out of the Undrlvld Seminary in the city of Eos.
Oh, right.
The capital of Aeshanador. Far to the southeast of here.
Okay.
Wait, one more time for the people who didn't get that, not me though.
The Aydinlan, Aydinlan, seminary. In the city of Eos, which is Y-I-O-S.
Why?
And would we, just knowing that name, would you know what like type of religion was being studied there, or is that sort of a question
Just
mark?
make a history or religion check, your choice.
Boop. 7.
7. I mean, the best that you can recall in your travels and knowing, Marquette decently, I mean, the city of Eos it combats with Undrlvld as the center of academic study and is often touted as the pinnacle of academia in Marquette. It tends to be more aloof against the rest of the political interactions across the continent and beyond, and if you aren't taking a direct route in with an escort, the path to get there is challenging.
We can look for. I want to find out information about the Briarwoods in Whitestone. Any information I can find out about them.
Roll an investigation check.
With advantage.
With advantage because of the spell.
Come on, you piece of sh.
Probably just need more dice.
8.
8.
I'm sorry, Laudna.
Gotta cross it.
It's okay.
It's all right.
You find historical records which are, available. They speak of Silas and Delilah Briarwood, two nobles within the realm of Wildmount that were, some accounts say exiled, others say that they were hunted beyond its borders.
Angry. I just have my.
I can tell. But then were known to abscond to Taldore, where they raised a bloody incursion in the city of Whitestone, wiping out the majority of the Undrlvld family and then taking over. There they held, in secret, power in court over the township for the period of about 5 years before they were ousted and thought to be destroyed by the heroes known as Vox Machina.
Are there pictures of them in the book, and are they sexy?
No, there are not pictures because you rolled too low to find the sexy photos.
Sexy
A
picture.
15 at least to find the sexy photos. I'm just saying. Yes.
Legends of Vox Machina's swimsuit issue.
There's a note scribbled on the side. Pretty sexy.
Hey, the Ghostwriter spread in that swimsuit issue was awesome.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Is this holographic?
In the dollar bin.
Look at that. Look at that cute.
Okay.
But yeah, and you find footnotes that apparently speak of involvement, like post-mortem involvement during the incursion of the Whispered One, also involving Vox Machina, but there has been no recorded account of that. Right here. And that's it.
Okay. Oh God. Also information about suddenly getting power. This is so similar to what I was researching before, but getting power being related to an external magic source.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on, baby. Come
I'm
on.
gonna also look with her.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Whedon's.
Okay, yeah, because she has advantage. You can roll separately.
Come on.
Oh, that's good. Did you guide me? You didn't guide me.
I did not.
20.
20. Good, good. You find a plethora of books and tomes and historical accounts speaking on people who spontaneously began to develop magical powers. There are some that speak of blood magic and lineages that carry contact with magical beings, whether it be fae, dragons, and other djinn and elementals that in the past history there was whether a magical imbuement or an actual crossing of bloodlines, in which case people who were born in later generations began to just suddenly evoke powers and abilities. There are some that speak of individuals who were experimented upon, that were cursed or corrupted by whether it be natural situations or dark mages who intended to try and create and essentially force magical beings and those capable of bending the elements to their will, those speak of failures and eventual, like, essentially degeneration of these individuals, and were considered both unethical, illegal, and practices that are, essentially hunted down to prevent from happening again. There are tales of gods gifting champions and chosen ones who work and walk within a path of fate that marks their interests, that will grant boons, but those usually come in the classically and written as a series of visions from the entity, and there is a divine nature to these gifts. It's overwhelming, the amount of historical and theoretical writings that conjecture on the multitudes of sources of spontaneous power.
Anything about severing that tie? Do you lose the powers given to you?
There are some that speak on the source of patrons that can pick up entities that are more powerful, that aren't divine, that can grant it as an exchange. But then those also are contracts that can be breached and that tie is severed. But those are usually acknowledged and at least bought into to a certain degree by the person. So there is a conscious level of understanding of that arrangement. Yours, it's hard to place. Based on everything you've read, it could be bloodline related. Like, a lot of the things that you read tend to kind of draw you in the direction of there being something in past lineage that has just been sparked at a certain age, or by a certain alliance of congruent magical alignments in the world. That may have triggered this spontaneous capability.
I'm also looking for Laudna, like, to be able to sever that Delilah connection. If she did that, like, any evidence that if she severed that connection with Delilah, she would lose that.
Most conversations and write-ups regarding patron-based relationships, where it is a gift granted by a contract with a more powerful entity or being, say that when that contract is broken outside of some sort of majestic, fey, double-cross, written in print type gotcha moment, those gifts do recede with the arrangement. There are exceptions, but they're rare, and they usually fall into the realm of folklore or fairy tales that are told through the ages of a mortal outsmarting an immortal. And those are rare, or honestly, probably fiction in a lot of cases. Okay. So I'd say there are discussions that fall in the realm of interesting conversation topics, but there is no, like, how to break your relationship with your patron and keep your magic for dummies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Laudna.
Oh God!
You watch.
Oh God!
You wake up as Imogen is shifting in her sleep. You.
I wake up first.
Yeah, you wake up first and see
right.
her shifting.
I am not gonna wake her up. I'm gonna just immediately I'm gonna start scribbling anything she says, though. Keep going.
Okay. And the storm returns. You hear the crack of earth and land pull apart in the distance as trees vanish beyond the horizon. The green, now brown and red fields falling away. You pull at the door on the house and it is locked, it is shut. That familiar sense of nowhere to go. Your hair is tossed painfully across your face. Your eyes burn from the impact of dust and rock and shards of glass and sand. You hear your mother's voice once again. Imogen, run. Run far. You glance back in the storm and you see the shadow of two people holding hands. Young. You can't make out their distinct shapes. but they just stand there, their silhouettes consumed by the storm as they vanish into the chaotic mass.
Are they the twins?
Is what you hear from her voice.
I just write down twins.
And I take off running as
You-
fast as I can.
You abandon the house and run into the fields beyond, and run as hard as you can. Horses fleeing in the distance, you see trees falling, you hear and feel the ground shudder and break beneath you, but you run as hard as you can. Her voice still echoing in your ears, fading as the sound gets louder and louder and louder and louder. You wake up.
Imogen. Just grab her by the hand. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to wake you up because I wanted to. Maybe there are answers. I go and I get her a glass of water.
I saw somebody again.
You said twins. You said twins out loud. Did you see the Loomis twins?
I don't know. I don't know. I saw two figures standing next to each other.